This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Tonight, neighbors in St. Charles County are cleaning up from the storms. They hit the Wentzville area hard overnight, leaving behind a lot of hail damage. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. The ping-pong-size hail pelted homes and cars. Justina Coronel joins us live from Wentzville at Twin Oaks Heritage Point. And Justina, what can you tell us about this damage?
Yeah, so first off, we've seen a ton of debris because of the wind, but as far as the damage we're seeing on the outside of buildings and homes because of that hail. Now, that large hail affected some siding, leaving some holes. Window frames and cars were also dented. Now, meteorologist Jim Castillo shared a severe cell came through this area around 8:30 last night, and that's when those bigger size hail came crashing down. Residents in this area tell me the hail was so loud. Some said they went to the basement to steer clear. One woman says during that time she looked outside and just saw a white sidewalk. Earlier today, the neighbors observed the damage and supported each other during that time.
The funny thing is we're trying to think, was this just us, our little area that was, the wind and the hail, it was unbelievable.
And we're all in the same boat, so everybody's telling about what damage they've had.
Now, the Wentzville mayor tells me that he is hearing several hundred people are facing damage reports. Fortunately, we're hearing no reports of anyone hurt. Reporting in Wentzville, Justina Coronel, 5 on your side.
All right, so let's check in with our Weather First team.
Yes, meteorologist Jim Castillo has more on that round of storms, Jim.
Yeah, I even have a cousin, Jamie, shout out to her, lost her roof, even some of her windows broke, and the siding needs to be replaced. So let's check this cell out, 8:20 to about 8:50 p.m. Northern sections of Innsbruck and then through Forestell, right over Interstate 70, and then through western portions of Wentzville. Then it kind of died out as it pushed eastward. But again, this is that large hail. My aunt sent this in, ping pong size, maybe a little bit larger in spots, and it piled up. So that was a big issue also. And then that's just one of the lights that broke from one of the hailstones hitting that area. Then all of us had showers and storms, some with hail, maybe not as large as that, all the way through the metro and also Jefferson County, St. Clair County, Illinois. And then finally, we had a nice break as we pushed into today. But severe weather tonight, there is an isolated risk of that happening, mainly southeast of the metro. I'll get into this in more detail coming up in just a few minutes, Mike.
All right, Jim. New at 5, a mystery in Ferguson. A man who was taken to the hospital by ambulance ended up dead on a neighbor's front porch just hours later.
Christine Byers met with the man's nephew today, who says he called 5 on your side, hoping to find out more about his uncle's final moments.
Mike and Kelly, Anthony Miller was 72 years old and he lived with his stepnephew, who was his caretaker. On September 17th, neighbors and family members say an ambulance took him to Christian Hospital. Now, his nephew wants to know how he ended up dying alone on his neighbor's steps in the middle of the night. Miller's nephew says an ambulance picked up his uncle at about 5:30 p.m. that Sunday. He had been struggling to breathe. Then at about 2:30 the following morning, he says he woke up to his neighbor pounding on his front door, saying there was a body on their front porch. Here's surveillance footage showing what happened when the neighbor found him. When Jermaine Lacey got closer, he says he recognized the shoes his uncle was wearing because he bought them for him, and he didn't want to get any closer. Ferguson police responded. Now, Jermaine Lacey says he just wants to know why and how this happened and to give his uncle a proper burial.
I want to know why they were so persistent on letting a man of 70-something years old, 85 pounds, leave the hospital in an Uber or whatever transportation they provide for people.
A spokeswoman for Christian Hospital told me she could not comment on this case because Mr. Miller did not sign a consent form to share his health information publicly, and patient confidentiality laws prevent them from speaking about his case. Now, the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office told me Miller would not have an autopsy performed because there did not appear to be any foul play or drugs or alcohol involved in the death.
Okay, thank you, Christine. Mercy Health System is looking at new ways to incorporate artificial intelligence.
It wants the technology to lighten the load of healthcare workers and improve the patient experience. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings is live from Mercy in Creve Coeur. with more on the effort. Travis.
Kelly, Mike, the hospital system here is partnering with Microsoft on this new push. The corporation actually chose Mercy because of its existing technical infrastructure in the healthcare space, like its cloud coverage and the way it really protects patient privacy thus far. But I want to tell you about some of the new things that they're implementing here. It will be using chatbots. Patients will be able to ask questions and get help understanding their lab results. It will also be using taking patient calls for actions like scheduling appointments. The solution would then provide recommendations for additional follow-ups. There's also something in there for Mercy employees. A chatbot will help quickly find important information about Mercy policies and procedures and locate HR-related answers. The hospital's executive vice president, Joe Kelly, says it's their responsibility to do no harm to patients, but to also improve operation efficiencies.
This isn't about just putting something out there because it's, everybody's been reading about ChatGPT since, November, December. This is about really understanding where we could apply this technology to improve our operations, to ease clinical burden, and to improve our patient experience.
Kelly said that these tools aren't intended to replace people. It's really to help out with the staff shortages that we've been seeing really all across our region and to better provide that patient experience. The new programming is expected to roll out here next summer, 2024. All right, we're live in Creve Coeur. Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Former President Trump is making a stop in Michigan, where United Auto Workers are on strike. Workers at the GM plant in Wentzville are part of that strike. The union is negotiating with General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis for higher pay and shorter work weeks. And today we learned the union is expected to expand its strike on Friday if there's no deal. The former president is not meeting with UAW leaders or expected to join workers on the picket line. He's visiting a non-union manufacturing plant. He is expected to make a primetime speech in front of some union workers tonight. Now, it's a move the UAW president is criticizing.
I find a pathetic irony that the former president is going to hold a rally for union members at a non-union business. And, all you have to do is look at his track record. His track record speaks for itself. In 2008, during the Great Recession, he blamed UAW members. He blamed our contracts for everything that was wrong with these companies. That's a complete lie.
Yesterday, President Biden became the first sitting president to join the picket line. He joined workers near Detroit. He also made a short speech to workers saying they deserve more than what they are paid now.
With